Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our part one of a two-part series on sustainable landscaping. We are excited to bring this new initiative in partnership with American Green Zone Alliance, aka Agsa, and Quiet Communities, aka QC. We are thankful to our sponsor, NYSERDA, which is a key supporter of many of Sustainable Westchester's programs. I also want to thank all of you for joining us today. Our audience today comprises of municipal staff members, municipal board members, members of municipal environmental committees, and representatives from school districts as well as businesses. My name is Neha Dhanik. I manage the Recycle Right Westchester program, as well as this new landscaping initiative at Sustainable Westchester. You may be familiar with some of our other programs too, such as Westchester Power, Community Solar, Energy Smart Homes, Commercial Clean Heating and Cooling, Clean Transportation, and Grid Rewards. So we are a municipal-owned nonprofit, and we serve our member municipalities by creating as well as implementing these sustainability initiatives. Our executive director, Nina Orville, was actually planning on giving her opening remarks today, but unfortunately she's not feeling well. So she has asked me to read out some of her remarks. And I hope you can please bear with my voice for a few extra minutes while I read them out. Today's workshop officially marks the launch of our new sustainable landscaping initiative, through which we will bring proven and beneficial solutions for our member municipalities to transition towards healthier, more sustainable land care practices. We are very grateful for and inspired by the tireless efforts of local environmental leaders who have created programs like Love 'em, Leave 'em, Healthy Yards, Pollinator Pathways, and have made these concepts and practices more popular than ever. We also commend the pioneering businesses in Westchester that have for many years been providing sustainable and low emissions landscape maintenance services to our communities. Sustainable Westchester will encourage wider adoption of these changes. And with our partners Agsa and QC, we will also work to ensure that landscaping businesses and their workers can access the necessary support to manage through and benefit from this transition. We are pleased that our partners can bring a hands-on approach that includes worker training and peer-to-peer knowledge sharing. We reached out to Agsa over a year ago to explore partnering on a demonstration site in Westchester. As a result, they worked closely with the Village of Larchmont and helped create Westchester's first Agsa certified green zone at one of their municipal parks. Then they went further and created another one at the town of Rye. We are proud of these achievements, and we congratulate the Village of Larchmont and the town of Rye on earning their respective Agsa green zones at their beloved municipal parks. That concludes Nina's remarks. And now I'm showing you the agenda for today. As you see, we have a host of presenters who will be sure to give you plenty of ideas which you could take away and implement in your communities as well as businesses. The first hour includes presentations by our partners Agsa and QC, as well as some overview of some of the initiatives taken by the environmental committees of the Village of Larchmont and the town of Lewisboro. We will also, in the end, hear from Peter Mccart about some of the initiatives underway at our county government. The presentations will be followed by 3 parallel breakout sessions, and we welcome you to attend the one which may be of most interest to you. I would like to once again remind all of you to please keep yourselves muted during the presentations. We will not be opening for the Q&A during the first hour as we have lots to cover, but please enter your comments and questions in the chat, and we will be monitoring those and addressing them towards the end. So with that overview, let's jump right in. Jamie, I welcome you to share your screen, please.
Okay, Neha. see.
So let me introduce our first speaker, Jamie Banks. She is the founder and president of Quiet Communities, a national nonprofit organization based out of Massachusetts. Jamie is a research scientist with an extensive background in health outcomes and economics, environmental behavior, and policy. She currently serves as the chair of the Noise and Health Committee of the American Public Health Association. She co-teaches the Energy Pollution and Climate Change course of NOFA's Organic Land Care accreditation program. And she is the co-author of NOFA's Organic Land Care Standards. She received master's, plural, degrees from MIT and Dartmouth Medical School, and a PhD from University of Kent in UK. Welcome, Jamie. Over to you.
So thank you, Neha, and good afternoon, everyone. I'm delighted to be here and very excited about Sustainable Westchester's Sustainable Land Care Program, Quiet Communities, and Agsa, our collaborator, feel that this is a wonderful opportunity for Westchester County to lead by example in the region, in New York State, and beyond. So I'm going to start with a brief introduction to tell you a little bit about Quiet Communities, and then I'm going to jump right in and talk about some of the impacts of gas-powered lawn and garden equipment that are fueling this transition towards more sustainable practices. I'll be talking mainly about health, but also about how technologies can help reduce those health impacts and also benefit the environment. So Quiet Communities is an 8-year-old national nonprofit organization. We have 5 programs, but our original program started in land care, and that program has grown today with the help of our collaborator, Agsa. Our mission is to help transition land care to more sustainable practices. So like other industries, land care is also under pressure to reduce the use of fossil fuel powered equipment. And what this entails is moving to a platform that is entirely different than that of gas combustion engines. It involves alternative energy, battery technology, electric motors, robotics, new infrastructure, and even software and data analytics. Not only do management and workers need to be educated and trained, they also have to understand the economics of a new business model, what's required to get a timely return on investment, and how they can profit from that investment. And then on the customer side, there has to be education about sustainable aesthetics as well as related service expectations. So gas, lawn, and garden equipment, GLGE, has a variety of health and environmental impacts. The health issues include dangerous noise levels, literally deafening, toxic and carcinogenic exhaust, ground source particulates, harmful vibration from equipment, this is for workers, and then exposure to toxic solvents. On the environmental side, it's the same air toxics, noise, as well as greenhouse gas emissions, toxic non-recyclable waste associated with equipment maintenance, and fuel spillage into ground and aquifers. So workers who are exposed to these hazards for hours a day and several days a week are especially vulnerable to health effects, but there are implications for the public as well. I'm going to start with noise. Noise levels from gas, lawn and garden equipment far exceed safe levels, both for the public and for workers. So as you can see on the right, World Health Organization and EPA define a safe guideline to protect health and hearing as less than or equal to 55 decibels. And then for workers, the National Institutes of Occupational Safety and Health define that level as 85 decibels or less, averaged over an 8-hour day. This equipment is much louder than that, Each 10-point decibel increment means a doubling in the perceived loudness of that noise. What makes much of the noise from this equipment particularly disturbing is its ability to travel long distances and penetrate through walls and windows. This is because gas combustion engines tend to have a very strong low frequency component that's absent from the battery electric equipment. So whereas loud noise travels over long distances with the gas equipment, it dissipates over a much shorter distance with battery electric equipment. Loud noise and chronic noise at lower levels both can damage hearing over time. It's no coincidence that this infographic from the Centers for Disease Control features a leaf blower, and it's just talking about how that noise impacts the inner structures of the ear and causes permanent damage. What is less recognized is that noise also causes other health problems, and this happens through stress-mediated responses in the body. These include cardiovascular damage, metabolic disturbances, and psychological problems. And we also know that noise interrupts learning, reduces work productivity, decreases quality of life, and all of this come with high healthcare and societal costs.
Medical's patient portal helpline.
As many of you know, noise from land care equipment has become especially problematic during the pandemic, with adults and children trying to work at home and learn at home, first-line workers trying to get sleep during the day, and others who need naps or quiet time. Okay, the emissions from gas, lawn, and garden equipment. The equipment produces high levels of pollutants. This include what are known as volatile organic compounds like benzene. It's what you smell when you go to the gas station. These are potent carcinogens. When they combine with nitrogen oxides, they form ground level ozone. And then fine particulate matter is a human carcinogen. A lot of it is produced by what we call the handheld equipment, the blowers, the trimmers, the edgers, and so forth, versus the mowers. Mowers produce much more carbon dioxide. So it's really the handheld equipment that is responsible for something like 95% of fine particulate matter. And then there's also a lot of carbon monoxide emitted by these engines. This infographic is from the American Lung Association. It summarizes many of the health hazards associated with ozone and fine particulate matter. They range from asthma and other respiratory problems to lung cancer and heart disease, developmental and reproductive problems, and premature death. Recent studies suggest that fine particulates may also contribute to conditions like Alzheimer's disease, dementia, and autism. Workers are also regularly exposed to equipment vibration from gas-powered engines that can cause irreversible damage to nerves in the hands and arms, as well as other body systems. And there's also health effects from continual exposure to both fuels and the solvents that are used to maintain gas engines. These noise and pollution exposures may also be hazardous not only to workers, but to members of the public. Groups that are especially vulnerable include infants and children, pregnant women, veterans with PTSD who can be very, very sensitive to noise, and then people with underlying illnesses, and even pets.
30 seconds, please.
Advanced technologies promise to eliminate or reduce these impacts, helping to better our health and planet. And I'm just going to say we're trying to professionalize these sectors, this emerging sector, with professional certification courses. I can't go into this, But I want to leave you with this vision of a cleaner, quieter, and healthier world that we're working towards, and then encourage all the municipalities and organizations to get involved and make Westchester County a leader in the region and beyond. These benefits can really be enormous. Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie. With that overview about the health impacts of what we are doing here, I want to welcome Dan Mabe, our next presenter. Dan, please show us your slides, and I will also start introducing you. So let's look at your first slide, Dan. Although this is great. Okay, there we are. So Dan Mabe is the founder and president of American Green Zone Alliance, Agsa, which is at the forefront of clean technology for the grounds maintenance industry. He has an extensive experience and understanding of grounds maintenance operations, as well as the ins and outs of lawn equipments of all kinds, gas, electric, and people powered. Agsa is the first certification company to train and certify professionals in advanced electric technologies and certify battery electric equipment for real-world applications. Agsa has successfully completed projects with air quality districts in California, cities and towns across the country, golf courses, school districts, and university campuses. Dan is a co-instructor of the Energy, Pollution, and Climate Change course of NOFA's Organic Land Care Accreditation Program. With that, take it away, Dan. Welcome.
Okay, Neha, you can hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you very much for that, and good afternoon, everyone. Morning here in California. Just quick housekeeping. I'd like to thank Sustainable Westchester, such a professional, motivated, and dynamic team. Very, very happy to be partnered with you and QCI. I want to thank the Larchmont Environmental Committee, and also acknowledge that them and Healthy Yards, Pollinator Pathways is a very important part and pieces to the puzzle for the entire scope of sustainable land care. Thank you. And then Peter Mccart, thank you for joining from the county. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. The American Green Zone Alliance, who are we? A leader in low impact sustainable grounds maintenance strategies. Our mission is to prudently and responsibly transition the grounds maintenance industry to quieter, more sustainable practices. Applications include commercial crews who service municipalities, schools, and residential properties. How do we do this? We do it a lot of different ways, but a few are listed here on this slide. One is our Green Zone certification program, that is property transition. We have a few examples of those. Agsa Service Pro certification, that is engaging the workforce, the men and women who wake up every single day at 5 in the morning and dedicate their lives to beautifying our communities. It definitely provides that education, training, certification, and acts as a behavior modification model. And other things we do, because electric equipment is much more expensive than their gas counterparts, we independently test tool platforms for their enduring viability. What does this look like 4 or 5 years from now after you make your purchases, as well as what ergonomic and performance capabilities they have. Okay, how did we get here? Just real briefly, as you can see, there is a sweeping movement across the country, over 200 and counting. There is an issue. Gas leaf blowers are what started the conversation. As you can see here, there are bans, restrictions, regulation at the village, city, and now even state levels. It's something that we all have to address together. Everybody, though, in Agsa's eyes, need to be stakeholders. And again, we need to find common ground. So just to expand on one of the impacts that Jamie Banks had mentioned in her previous presentation, let's focus on sound. This can be any one of us sitting indoors or outdoors, pre-pandemic, during pandemic, post-pandemic. When gas crews come, this is what that noise profile looks like. And we all know what it sounds and feels like. If companies and operations can implement electric alternatives, not even going full electric, but even implementing a meaningful amount, this is what that would look like. And I'm going to give you an example of what it actually sounds like. This is an example of that high frequency component of electric, how it distances from you, that noise profile drops off significantly. This is a 74-inch lawnmower, by the way. Okay, so nothing was altered. We just stayed in the same place, let the equipment distance from us. And as you can see, it's much more quieter, does not penetrate walls and barriers nearly as much as well. Okay, continuing on, program solutions. We're going to provide some examples of institutional Agsa certified green zones. To date, our largest green zone certification is an entire school district. It's over 3 years old and nearly 150 serviceable acres. Other institutional green zones include universities, golf courses, entire cities, municipal parks, botanical gardens, and state parks. We are now working with junior colleges, cemeteries, and hospitals, and we hope to publish those by Green Zone at Kane Park. What is so special about this green zone is that they are organic for pest control and weed control, and they are doing best practices such as mulching with the mowers. So very happy to have partnered with the environmental committee there, the village, to establish this important model. And as you can see, the ceremony, it was so much fun, very well attended, and people are very interested. Just shows how many people showed up. Everyone's interested in solutions. We just need to make sure we find those solutions, again, including everyone as stakeholders. Our second green zone in Westchester County, Crawford Park. Just so happens that my family has a history there. We used to hold our picnics, our family picnics there. And it was just a complete coincidence that Crawford Park is now the second green zone in Westchester County. We really love their approach. It seems like they really took an approach that we'll continue to elaborate on in the breakout room. They really wanted to make sure that their workforce, the people doing the work there, had 100% electric tools. And that included these very large mowers and even that, utility vehicle that you see there is 100% electric. They're dedicated to going 100% electric through the fall. Congratulations there. Okay, all of our projects come with what we call ELF reports. We've partnered with Quiet Communities. It stands for Environmental Landscape Footprint. We can tell you what your gas operations are producing as far as CO2 and the criteria pollutants that Jamie was mentioning, as well as noise profile and solid and toxic waste. When we do these conversions, we can actually tell you what those metrics are of improvement. Solutions continued. New technologies are part of this solution. But before we go to that, an example of, let's look at what the current technology is. Internal combustion technology, amazing technology. This is a diagram of a Briggs and Stratton lawnmower engine. And as you can see, all of the moving parts and how many they are compared to their electric counterparts, they're more inefficient, they require more maintenance, and they are more expensive over time. compared to electric, you see it's a handful of components that basically make up electric technology. You have the battery with a BMS, a battery management system. It pairs with a controller that tells this motor that runs the turbines, the blades, the string, what to do. They are definitely more efficient, more simple. And if the tools are taken care of, and the caveat, the important thing is if the tools are taken care of, they are going to be more profitable. Just to let you know, we're not throwing stuff out there. Robotics is something that is coming online. If people come to us and say robotics work, we're not going to take their word for it. Agsa is actually going to implement the technology in one of our green zones so it can be vetted. As you can see here, there are two robotic mowers doing this very large green zone area in Illinois. And what was interesting, because we had plug-in issues, we are actually using solar to charge these two mowers that take care of this very large area. So you guys can definitely come to us and we'll give you the X's and O's raw as it is on any new technologies. Okay, continuing ahead, very important, Service Pro certification. This is working with the men and women, the workforce of the industry. Who's pictured here? These are not our enemies. These are people who beautify our neighborhoods, prevent blight, and keep our properties at their highest values. It's important not to demonize the industry. It's important to engage this industry, empower them with information, and make them stakeholders as part of the solution. And when we've done this, I'm telling you, it works. As you can see here, there are a few older gentlemen in this picture. This is an aging workforce that actually, once they learn the electric tools work for them, they actually appreciate less vibration and that they're lighter and that they're not breathing in fumes, but they definitely have to perform for them to get their jobs done. We're out there on the front lines, working, engaging with this industry every single day, giving them the exact information they need to make informed choices about work production rate capabilities, cost of operation benefits, ROI trajectories. We definitely, the importance of certification that Jamie had at the, I believe, the tail end of her presentation. Here's an example. This is literally something that we run into. We don't want this. We don't want safety issues. We want to do this responsibly, and we want it to endure. We want something like this. This is an example of an Agsa green zone charging infrastructure setup. And coming down the stretch here, finally, AFTC, Agsa Field Tested Certified. Just to be clear, we are entirely brand neutral, but we will independently test tool platforms separate of the manufacturers and give you that information just as an extra layer of confidence when you have to make informed decisions, because this stuff, you're going to be investing thousands, tens of thousands, sometimes into the hundreds of thousands, depending how big the operation is. And it is essential that you purchase the right platform for your operation to get to that ROI and help this make sense. We do this so you don't have to. We don't suggest letting the grass grow for 2 months and going out there and putting it through these type of conditions. We're going to do this to understand its thresholds and pass that information along to our clients. We test the electric counterparts to gas, and then we're going to give you that information. Agsa wants to go on record and tell you no commercial electric blower is going to be as powerful as the gas electric blowers currently on the market. But we have had success teaching the workforce, showing the workforce they can use different methods of operation in conjunction with commercial electric blowers to have a gas-free blower environment for most months out of the year, if not all. And then coming down the stretch, these are just 3 brief videos. Please come to the breakout room. I can elaborate much more, but we just want to show you that we're very dedicated going out in the field and really collecting this data on a granular level. This is an example of a 2-stroke string trimmer workload being replaced by an electric operation. As you can see, the work production rate is very similar to a 2-stroke line trimmer. And as you can hear, not nearly as loud. And I'm shadowing Tony, and I cannot tell you how nice it is that I'm not breathing 2-stroke exhaust. Now keep in mind, I am right behind this person. If you're 10, 15, 30, 50 feet away, it is very quiet. Okay, next one, just shadowing this crew. Hardcore crew does acres and acres of municipal and private commercial work. Okay, here's a very skilled worker from 4 Seasons operating the new Vanquish 60-inch stand-on mower from Mean Green. You can see the angle of this slope here, around 20 degrees. They're claiming 20 degrees, and they're getting 20 degrees. Okay, you heard me say claim. We look at the manufacturer's claims, and then we go out in the field and we verify those claims. Last one here. And a lot of people are like, these tools, they're like toys. They can't handle commercial operations. What you're about to see here, we don't recommend, but this is reality. This is what these tools actually go through on a daily basis in some situations. Now this is a very skilled operator right here. You can see this is a 60-inch riding mower. Okay, that has been the presentation and introductory to Agsa Green Zone certification and then field work that we do. I really want to thank everybody again for participating, and I look forward to seeing you in the breakout rooms. And I'm going to stop share and hand over to Kristen Anderson.
Thank you, Dan. And I was looking at some of the participants, and everyone was glued to their screens to see all the amazing videos that you were showing. Our next presenter, Kristen Anderson, has served as the chair of the Village of Larchmont Environmental Committee. She led the committee's groundbreaking campaign to pass a complete gas-powered leaf blower ban in Larchmont, and this being the first complete ban in the Northeast. She's currently working on a leaf blower ban toolkit to help others pass similar codes in their municipality. Welcome, Kristen.
Thank you, Neha. Hello, everybody. This is Kristen Anderson. Today I'll be discussing Larchmont's gas-powered leaf blower ban and Larchmont's Agsa Green Zone. Perhaps it's useful to ask up front, why are a gas-powered leaf blower ban and a green zone being discussed as part of a sustainable landscaping seminar? Well, sustainable landscaping usually includes reducing lawns and adding native plants and trees, as well as reducing artificial fertilizers and encouraging the recycling of natural nutrients. Recycling of natural nutrients. And that's where a leaf blower ban comes in. When blowers are used to take fallen leaves away from a property, they take away the natural nutrients for trees, as well as the sustenance and habitat for wildlife. Actually, all blowers damage the environment in this way, and all blowers send up particulates polluting the air. In addition, gas blowers have emissions that create health hazards and contribute to greenhouse gases, and gas blowers have loud noise that daily activities and causes stress. Jamie did a great job in explaining this, so I won't go into more detail on it. Just to say that for us in Larchmont, sustainable landscaping means giving up gas blowers completely and limiting electric blowers to hardscapes and to peak maintenance seasons. It can be challenging for people to give up blowers and change their land care methods. It can be challenging for them even when they've been given a lot of data and information on the health hazards and environmental harms. And that's where a law can be needed. Larchmont's law passed in the fall of 2020 completely bans gas-powered leaf blowers and limits electric ones to April for spring cleanup and to the period of October 15th through December 15th for fall cleanup. But passing a blower ban by itself is often not enough. People really have to be given a workable alternative to blowers before they'll give them up. For us in Larchmont, that workable alternative is mulch mowing. Mulch mowing is simply continuing to mow from spring through fall. In the spring, mowing cuts grass. In the fall, mowing mulches leaves. And the mulch leaves can be left on the lawn to decompose. They can be moved to beds or they can be piled in compost piles. People who want a neater look for their property can leave less leaf mulch on their lawn and put more of it into their beds and on their compost piles. It can be flexible that way. No extra time or major new equipment is needed for mulch mowing. So mulch mowing can be faster and easier and cheaper for land care companies and their customers. And it can also be cheaper for municipalities that don't have to pick up leaf piles in the streets anymore. So why isn't mulch mowing more widespread? We think the main problem is that a lot of people just don't know about it. And also some people think their properties won't look neat enough if they're mulch mown. This is usually because people haven't seen mulch mowing done before and don't know how to adjust the results to suit themselves. We realized in order to support our new leaf blower ban, we needed a demonstration site. We needed a demonstration site for mulch mowing. So we, along with our Board of Trustees, thought that a municipal park would be a particularly appropriate demonstration site. We thought it would be visible and accessible, and it would attest to the support of our village government for our new gas-powered leaf blower ban. So we all decided on Larchmont's Kane Park because it's right on the Boston Post Road, connecting Larchmont with the municipalities nearby. But we realized we needed help. We needed help setting up this demonstration site. And this is where we turned to Dan Mabe and his American Green Zone Alliance, Agsa, and his partner, Jamie Banks of Quiet Communities, and their Green Zone certification program. As Dan has outlined, green zones are areas where no gas two-stroke engines can be used. So no gas blowers or hedgers or trimmers. And this meant that a green zone was a perfect fit for us. And we knew that Dan could advise our village's land care contractors on green methods and equipment, since he has years of experience in the business. And we noticed that Jamie could offer extensive research on blowers and an algorithm for measuring environmental impacts of giving up gas equipment, as you've seen in their presentations today. And we felt all of this could help us in explaining what a green zone is and explaining the benefits of sustainable landscaping to our community. Sustainable Westchester was also interested in establishing a green zone in Westchester, so they wanted to see a green zone serve as a model of sustainable landscaping that would hopefully spread throughout the county. So they generously offered to sponsor our first green zone in Larchmont. So once the green zone was greenlit by all the people involved in the project, our trustees and our land care contractor, Austin Acasella of ACL Property Management, got together with Dan Mabe, and they all defined the borders and tailored the terms of Larchmont's green zone. And I want to emphasize that Dan worked hard to understand what was important to us and to tailor our green zone for our purposes. So, for example, he understood that mulch mowing was important to us, and he included that in the training and in the profile for our green zone. And last month, on September 22nd, Larchmont inaugurated its first green zone. And we have a short clip about that inauguration.
So Sasha, the sound isn't playing.
Sorry, you having trouble with the sound?
Yes, I don't believe that the sound is playing.
Let me try one more time. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm going to stop share and reshare, make sure that button is clicked. Let's try, oh, hold on. Okay.
Hi, I'm Mayor Lorraine Walsh, and today we had the opening ceremony for our Green Zone certification from Agsa, which means that in Kane Park here, we're going to be using sustainable landscaping practices and electric equipment. And we hope to be able to move that forward into all of the Larchmont Village parks and properties. And we can be an example to the county and to all our residents on how we can move towards a much more sustainable landscaping practice.
At Sustainable Westchester, we are so excited about this celebration here in Larchmont today. We see this sustainable activities happening in Kane Park as being a model for all of Westchester County. We're already talking to other municipalities and other organizations that have large campuses throughout Westchester, and we will be highlighting the wonderful accomplishment that happened here with the first Agsa certified green zone here in the village of Larchmont.
What Larchmont has demonstrated today and the commitment to being a green zone, I think, is going to be a model for Westchester County.
We have 50 parks, very large parks, beloved parks here in Westchester County, and we're coming up with a plan to convert these, systematically, get it into the budget for next year. And I just want to say a special thanks to the people here in Larchmont, the Mayor Walsh, and the trustees and the environmental committee, and everybody involved to really show us the model, show us the way, show the other municipalities the way, and we really appreciate it. So
we just both want to thank Sustainable Westchester for bringing us in to conduct this project with the village of Larchmont. We want to thank the Larchmont Environmental Committee for their dedication, their hard work. This has just been such a rewarding project. It's even better that I have family ties here, and I know that my grandfather is looking down on this, and he must be very proud as well. So it's just a great day all the way around.
And I'd like to add to what Dan said. We're really excited, and we think this is not just going to be a model for the region, but for the country. Having Sustainable Westchester and Westchester County really be a leader. You never know where things are going to be picked up and accelerated, so we're very, very excited to be here.
We also want everybody to know that this is not for show. It really is for dough. This is a measured process that's prudent. We really do help with verifying the workload
production capability of the electric tools compared to the gas. And then we're also providing those economic benefit models to the companies and the operators to know that there is a pathway to return on investment with these electric fleets.
Remember, you can mulch your leaves. They don't have to be raked up. Everything doesn't always have to be perfect and neat. It's better that we be healthy. And thanks to everyone from the Larchmont Environmental Committee, and Larchmont Board of Trustees, and Larchmont employees who helped make this happen.
I hope you enjoyed that clip. If you want to see our green zone and how mulch mowing is working there and how the green zone is playing out, you're welcome to come visit Kane Park. There's no signage there yet, but you can find Kane Park on Google Maps. We look forward to seeing you there. Thank you.
Thank you, Kristen. Thank you, Sasha.
Hi, I'm Mayor Lorraine Walsh, and today we had the
Great. We are now ready for our final presenter for today, Dan Welsh. He is a staff member and my colleague at Sustainable Westchester. But today he is participating with his Lewisboro hat on. He has been a member of the Lewisboro Town Board since 2008, and he serves as the liaison to the Sustainability Advisory Committee, as well as the Open Space and Preserves, Pedestrian and Bike Advisory Committees. Today, he is going to share with us the committee's work to promote electrification of landscaping equipment. Welcome, Dan.
Do need to unmute. Thanks, Neha. You've heard from the best already. That's Dan from the industry side, and Jamie with the public health angle, and the folks in Larchmont who've done just an amazing job in really leading the county and pioneering this transition. Now I'm going to just take a short while to give you a peek at what one of your small town neighbors in the north of the county is doing to try and move the needle under our own context. And it's going to go to the next slide there. So Lewisboro has been working in the sustainability sphere for some time now. Our committee was formed over a decade ago, and we've been doing a lot of the things that many of your towns have and cities and villages have been doing. We've held clean heat campaigns. We had a very aggressive plastic bag ban. We switched out our street lights. We've done all kinds of different events and movie nights, and pitched various programs to the town board, advocacy for, as you can see, for reducing glyphosate, recycling, swapping out our police vehicle for a hybrid, and community solar, and so on. Our efforts on the landscaping side have, we've been active, but I won't say that we've made huge progress on it. But this past summer, we got notification that the various clean energy community activities that we've submitted qualified us under NYSERDA's Clean Energy Communities Program for the designation award. And that provides for a $5,000 grant, which you can apply to all manner of sustainability initiatives. So that presented us with a wonderful problem of trying to figure out what we might do. And we ended up with the idea of using those funds to support a trade-in program to swap out your gas landscaping equipment and particularly leaf blowers for electric. And the inspiration from that came from a few places. First of all, in the prior year, we had tried to move ahead with Larchmont and a few other communities' inspiration, tried to put in place some leaf blower restrictions. We weren't able to get complete traction on that. Some support, but also still trying to figure out versus, you know, the landscaping professional community, et cetera. So that's still out there. You know, we saw many communities putting this in place, but we still haven't found quite the chemistry and done all the outreach we need to do to make it move forward. There's maybe, you know, we're obviously a different type of location than Larchmont with a big, you know, 2-acre, 5-acre plots, and people have different needs. But we did go out at that time and do a survey about the use of leaf blowers, and that survey did suggest that there is kind of a market out there that we could target. We found that half of the survey respondents actually own gas-powered leaf blowers, and also half, and there could be overlap on these, may engage landscapers that use gas-powered leaf blowers. We had also heard in conversations with Dan Mabe and, you know, your usual Google browsings that out in California, these kind of gas electric exchanges are a pretty common thing under their air quality district regime. And you can go out there and find a lot of information about these programs and how they're run, and various inspiring YouTube videos. So as we sat in our committee and trying to figure out, obviously there were lots of different ideas about how to use the funding, but what landed us in favor of this program was that it would help us transition and accelerate the transition to these electrification practices. It would hopefully, through doing this, set the stage for another run at the leaf blower restriction discussions. And also, it's also a great way to talk about electrification in general. Lewisboro, like many of the other Westchester communities, is part of the Westchester Power Clean Energy program. And so every time you electrify some aspect of your home or business operations, you by default, if you're in that program, help to clean the air a little bit more. So it is a pathway to discussion about that. And the nature of this program would be such that it would touch more people than, say, one discrete purchase, which didn't affect as many people. And it was also, we thought it was an opportunity to try and take this and produce, put together a model which others could replicate. Because we like to, as Larchmont has clearly done, do things with an eye to the possibility that others could take it and run with it as well. So with that, the decision was made, and we decided to go after a gas electric exchange in terms of the use of these funds. I'll be in a breakout room and be ready to brainstorm with people about how this is going to be run. We're in the midst of organizing it now. It's probably going to kick off in the springtime. It's too late at this point in time. But some of the questions that we're looking at is we were focused on the leaf blowers, but we think it makes sense to also bring mowers into the picture as well. Obviously, they have a big impact as well, and it could be a popular item. We also have an intent to give some level of access to commercial landscapers, but we would do that in a way that routes them through their local customers, keeping it local. And the other piece of localization, which is something that we're spending a good bit of time on, is developing retailers. that would participate with us.
30 seconds, Dan.
Perfect. And we are engaging Agsa to help us with a few pieces of this. And also we've been in discussions with other communities in Westchester and outside of Westchester, which is sort of helping with the general brainstorming. But as I said, I'm happy to share some of the details about some of the organizational work that we're doing to get this set up with anybody who cares to join the breakout. And of course, no good presentation is finished without an important cat video. So there you go.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And with that, we conclude the presentations for today. I'm now pleased to welcome one of our board members, Peter Mccart, to give us some concluding remarks and share updates from the county government as well. He is the Director of Energy Conservation and Sustainability at Westchester County, and he has been instrumental in the creation of several successful organizations, including ours. He is well known for making lasting partnerships with vast range of businesses, community leaders, and elected officials throughout the Metro New York and the country. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Neha. And you know, I do have a meeting to get to 1:30, and it's out of the office. But this is so important. I'm excited to be here. And how many times have we heard the word excitement? Right? Excited, and it's exciting, and it is. It's very exciting. And there's such a groundswell that's coming up, and we hope that it meets, you know, coming down from the top like Lorraine Walsh and some of these elected officials, and then coming up from the grassroots level. And I'm going to use as well. I couldn't be more excited by this event. Larchmont's Green Zone event was this past summer, just a couple months ago, or can't remember. Everything's going by very fast. And Rise event at Crawford Park. That's next Tuesday. I don't know if it's open to the public, but I think it is. And I just wanted to be known that the few people want to get rid of these loud fume spewing machines more than little old Pete here. I chair the Eastchester Environmental Committee. And we worked on it for about 18 months, quite frankly, and we were almost there. And suddenly the landscaping industry came in and shut it down for good. But we have a lot of new people coming in. There's a difference of mindset now, and we have taken it up again. So I'm excited to be a part of that, and hopefully we'll work with Agsa and you know, Sustainable Westchester to convert at least some parts of Eastchester. You know, the big news in the county is we just announced our capital budget yesterday, and it was just released yesterday. And there is money in there for the conversion of our tools. We have, as I said in our clip, 50 parks, more than 50 parks across the county, a wide expanse. Have you ever been to Ward Pound Ridge? It's just massive. And Croton Point Park and a lot of the other parks. And we are starting, and there is money, like I said, for the conversion of these tools that's been placed in the budget. We already have purchased 2 of the commercial grade electric mowers, and we also purchased 2 electric ATVs or gators. And we also have a robotic mower that is going to be operating up at Hilltop as mostly a demonstration for us. You know, in addition, we already own many electric tools, you know, across our park system. And the Parks, Rec and Conservation Department are already working on an analysis of our electric tools that we already have, and utilizing outsourced resources, much like Agsa and other resources, and to establish a systematic plan for conversion. We're also engaging landscapers, so that they have to register as they call it a contractor, but landscapers are contractors, and they have to register with the county. And we have been working with Fiona Mitchell and Philippine Hoagland of Healthy Yards, and you know, perhaps we'll work with Agsa to come up with literature that everybody will get, and that's going right now. It's already been being worked on and going to the legal system and being adopted here. But we're also planning on creating a video of some sort that they will be required to watch. So those are just some of the things that we're doing here at the county. But as Neha said, I'm just, I'm in full support of everything and everybody's doing all across the county. It's really coming up, and it's going to be, we're all going to receive the benefit of it. But thank you to everybody that's put this together, especially Maria and Neha and the whole crew at Sustainable Westchester, Agsa, and what is it, Climate, what is it? Quiet Communities. I can't remember the name, but thank you all. And I look forward to hearing about the breakout sessions. I'm sorry I won't be able to make those, but have a good afternoon.
Thank you so much, Peter. And thank you all for joining us today for the part 1. We hope you found it useful. The part 2 of the series is an in-person event and the first of its kind in Westchester. There is a separate registration required for it, so please do so if you do not want to miss out the opportunity to get a hands-on demonstration of commercial grade lawn equipment made by regional reps of those equipment manufacturers. It will be held at Crawford Park in Rye, which will also be celebrating its Agsa Green Zone certification earlier in that day at 10 a.m. Prior to opening for the demo event at 11 a.m. So we welcome you to attend both of these events on November 16th. With that, we will now head over to the breakout rooms where you will get a deeper dive into the topics and you will be able to ask your questions directly to the presenters.